Okay, we should be good.
Perfect.
You should be set.
All right. Great. Looks like we have a quorum. Thanks for attending, everybody. I call to order this July 23rd meeting of the Moab City Planning Commission at 6:02 p.m. Our first order of business is citizens to be heard. Do we have any?
I am not aware of any.
All right, I'll take that as a no. We do have item number 3 on our agenda tonight is the approval of minutes. We have 1 minutes from June 11th, 2020 from our regular meeting. Someone like to make a motion to approve or amend those minutes if you've had a chance to read them?
I motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve them. Is there a second? I will second.
They're gonna go
All
through
right.
and read it.
All in favor? Summer, do you want to do a roll call vote?
Will do. Jesso?
Aye.
Luke?
Aye.
Becky?
Aye.
Ruben?
Aye.
Kaya?
Aye.
Sorry about the background noise in my house.
That's fine. All right, great. Our first and only action item for the evening, consideration and possible recommendation of Moab City Resolution 34-2020, a resolution conditionally approving the Lawrence Minor subdivision of property located at 479 Bowen Circle, Moab, Utah. Corey, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. All righty. So this is a 2-lot subdivision, location at 479 Bowen Circle. Applicant Taylor Lawrence, also property owner. R2 zone. We're looking at putting in a flag lot minor subdivision at this location here. This is the recorded plat here, and then the proposed plat. So there's a few intricacies with what's being proposed here. So there is an existing home on the property, is a double wide manufactured home, and then a single wide existing manufactured home operating as an ADU. So these are currently operating residential properties. So what the applicant's hope is in this subdivision is to remove the single wide ADU and then develop this back lot into a residential unit, either a single household or a 2-household duplex. He should have enough square footage to accomplish that. And then once his development in this rear parcel is complete, he would then remove the first and primary existing home double wide and then develop that portion of the parcel as well. Originally, the applicant submitted a plan with essentially a 5,000 square foot front lot. I can zoom in a little bit here. But because of the existing structure's setback requirements, they resubmitted this updated survey, allowing them to have the appropriate setback distance to the subdivision, with this existing ADU clearly blocking access. So there's going to be a condition of approval associated with this subdivision. So the applicant would be required to remove that existing ADU before this plat could be officially and finally recorded with the county. All righty. With the narrative, like we had talked about, this is just basically what the applicant's hoping to accomplish by subdividing this lot and then developing it as a residential use. With this background is just describing what that process was of the submission and then updated survey by the applicant to show the appropriate setbacks once the setback or subdivision is complete. So it's really a pretty straightforward subdivision. At this, I'm going to just kind of yield the time to you guys if you'd like to discuss. The applicant, I had reached out to him and he would be willing to answer questions, but I don't think he's chiming in tonight. So if in the process you do have questions for the applicant, we can reach out to him if this item does move on to City Council.
So remove that back building, develop on the back, and then move forward to the front and then work on that. But there's no
Correct.
plans for structure.
No, at this
Okay.
point, it's yeah, just pursuing this opportunity, and this is kind of the first step. So before he were to approach either an architect or engineers, he would want to make sure that he could accomplish that. Sorry, I've got some squeaky toys here. One additional note, and this was a concept that the applicant had at one point. The reason his initial proposal showed a closer rear property line here, so this lot was only 5,000 square feet, was to allow for a greater back parcel, which is likely a parcel that he would reside in. So he would live in that unit, and then he would either sell or lease out this front property. But with removing that home, he would probably move the new structure closer to the right of way, closer to the front of the lot, and then maybe make a lot line adjustment back to where it was originally set. So it gets a little bit convoluted. It would be essentially a straightforward process that he'd be able to accomplish by bringing that lot line adjustment to City Council. But to get to that point, he needs to go through this process first by making sure that if he doesn't ever build on that front property, it would still be able to operate in compliance, and we would not be creating a non-conforming use.
Nice.
Good. For some reason, I thought that utility easements had to be 15 feet, but is it 7 feet here apparently, or 10 feet here?
Right. They can be shared between properties. So oftentimes we might see a 5-foot utility easement on one property and it's shared with the other property that makes it a 10-foot. So we have a number of 10-foot utility easements that are shared between two. So in this case, 7, it just depends the way it was originally recorded that way. We can see if we can go back. So the easement lines are not being shown on this plat here, but those notes are essentially, yeah, written into that plat.
So the back setback on an R2 is not 25 feet, it's 12 feet.
Say that again for me, Jesso.
Well, I thought for the back that it was a 25-foot setback from the property line.
Right. In the R2, it's a 12-foot setback from what the building would be to the rear property line. And what we're showing noted here is just the 10-foot utility easement. So that doesn't necessarily denote what the actual setback would be, but this would be the 7-foot, 7-foot, 10-foot. So in the R2, it's a 15-foot front, a 12-foot rear, and 7-foot sides. With flag lots, there's been, a little bit of discussion of that because of how narrow that makes this front lot. We have provisions written into the code that allow this space between the existing home and then the pole section of the secondary lot to be 5 feet. Because in essence, you're creating a 25-foot setback from this neighbor to this neighbor. But this distance needs to be 5 feet, with the front access for that back lot being 20 feet.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it looks good to me, especially with the contingency that he's going to remove that existing ADU to be compliant.
Right. His process was to remove it, but the way we're writing it into this item and what the condition of this approval would be is that he can, if he decides all of a sudden, you know what, I don't want to remove it, he still would have to move it somewhere onto the lot and where it would be in compliance. So even just contingency in case things don't go well, he still would be required to do that.
Looks good to me. Can I make a motion?
Yeah, if we don't have any more questions, if you look at the very first attachment in our agenda, there's a recommended motion that takes into account the condition that I think it should be subject to, or if you'd like to make something different.
I think it looks good.
All right, go for it.
I need to read this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Our heads are covering up part of it, so I'm just gonna guess. Recommended motion, I move to forward a positive recommendation to council. Oh, there we go. To City Council for Moab City Resolution 34-2020, a resolution conditionally approving the Lawrence Minor subdivision of property located at 479 Bowen Circle, Moab, Utah, subject to the following condition. 1, the existing structure located on Lot 2 of the Lawrence Minor subdivision must be removed or relocated in compliance with the property setbacks within Lot 2 of the Lawrence Minor subdivision before final recording of the plat.
Great, thanks, Becky. Anyone second?
Second.
Okay, Ruben has seconded. We're ready for a vote whenever you are, Summer.
Meg, Marianne,
Aye.
Luke,
Aye.
Kaya,
Aye.
Ruben,
Aye.
Becky,
Aye.
Jesso.
Aye.
Did I get everyone?
I think so.
Okay.
All right. Motion passes unanimously. Thanks, Corey.
Forgot Brian.
Oh, is Brian here?
No.
He is not.
All right, motion passes unanimously. Great. Item number 5, future agenda items. I have a question, Corey slash Summer, at some point. If have we have not seen, or will we see, likely a subdivision or a lot combination for 5 townhomes on the corner of 100 South, 300 East? I've gotten questions about that from community members who noticed that there's groundwork going on, but we hadn't seen anything here about that.
Right. That project is titled the 3rd Street Moab Townhomes development, and that's a Ben Bird project. That project is a by right project. So within the R3, that 5 unit townhome fits the computation for R3. So we don't, as a planning commission, need to see it. They are going through a little bit more of a process with their building permit. So they are being reviewed by our engineers, planning, building, everyone's getting their eyes on it. So they're more or less doing a staff internal review.
Okay, cool. I didn't realize 5 townhomes could fit in that spot. I actually used to live right next door. But I suppose if they took out the back building and the little house that was there.
Yeah, they will, there's a tree that's on there. They'll be removing that and then using the entirety of that lot with landscaping and then between the buildings.
Interesting spot for that. All right, cool. That answers my question then. Yeah, what else do we have? Future agenda items.
We have a few other things that are waiting to be submitted. So they're not officially into the books yet, but we have started to review the really preliminary plans for another subdivision, for 2 other subdivisions, a lot like this, minor subdivisions into flag lots. So kind of the nature of what I think is going on land use wise is a lot of folks are really assessing what their options are for the land that they own or are hoping to develop. So a lot of communications coming into the office regarding that, but we have 2 applications that are waiting for more material before we actually allow them to be submitted and get to the process.
And those are subdivisions or?
Minor subdivisions, so the same process that we're looking at for this one that we did tonight.
All right, great. Anyone else have anything before we adjourn this very short meeting?
I gotta go coach T-ball, so I was just
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say
have
goodbye.
fun.
Okay.
Thanks, Becky.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Was wondering, let me get the video on. If I wanted to make a recommendation for the overnight accommodations, how do I just tell one of you? I think that every single hotel or like overnight accommodation should have like a centerpiece of like stained glass. I think it'd be quirky. Can that be like a design requirement?
For new?
Yeah.
Building?
For like new developments.
Yeah, we could certainly add that to our discussion. And I think working into the aesthetics area that we had discussed in our previous meeting, that we were going to be hopefully firming up a lot of our more numerical requirements as far as percentages and square footages. We are also adding that aesthetic element. So we can bring that up in that discussion, certainly, and let the commission as a whole discuss it and see how they would like to move forward with that.
Cool. I've gotten some pretty positive praise on that idea. So
Yeah.
I'd like to hear more about that, the genesis for that too. Yeah, it would just be a part of our aesthetics discussion for sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Next time we talk about it. Great. Anyone else? Okay. If we have nothing else, we'll adjourn this meeting at 6:18 p.m. Nice.
Have a good
Perfect.
weekend, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Thanks, Corey.
Later.
Thanks, Summer.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, Summer. Thanks.